Welcome to the Blind Apex Podcast, where amateur club racers tune in to get faster.
I'm your host, Con John Turk, and on this episode of the Blind Apex Podcast, we're going to go in depth on Honda Challenge National Championship, specifically H2. I've spent 3-4 weeks researching each driver, sifting through Race Hero, watching videos, and figuring out anything I can. It's exactly what I would do if I were attending. I want to know who's fast, how they're fast, and how consistent are they. I don't think we're going to pick a winner today. We might, who knows? But we're definitely going to try to evaluate each driver, unlike what you read in NASA Speed News. You might be asking, how's this going to make me faster? We're going to go over attributes of each driver, the issues they have, and we all have them in some measure, right? I probably have all of these issues, right? No one's perfect. So we're just going to go through everyone. I won't rack and stack them, but I want people to know, hey, this is where I think they are, because your competitors are thinking that's where you are. You're going to hear some themes throughout the evaluation: consistency of lap times, how quickly they can get their lap times dialed in. So does it take them 2 or 3 laps to hit their rhythm, or can they come out of the gate? How they've been finishing in their region, and more specifically, where they finished at the pit crossover race that just occurred a couple weeks ago. Any criticisms you hear, it's all constructive. Like I said, I have every one of these issues. If it's an issue, I have it, right? I'm sure my guest will say he has them too. So I wouldn't hesitate to share what we're about to say face to face. It's just a legitimate analysis of what I think is going on and how Nationals is shaping up. There are going to be 15 H2 racers and only 3 podium spots. So don't get your feelings hurt. Be realistic with yourself. Take this as an opportunity to learn. I personally am not going, and I know I'm missing one of the greatest opportunities to learn in my racing career, and I'm waffling on how I feel about that. This event's going to evolve some drivers. It doesn't matter where they race or where they finish. You could take the podium and you're going to learn. That's what national championship races are all about. If you take this event seriously, you're going to make drastic improvements in 2024. If you're number 15 out of 15 on the regional level, you're going to get better. This is what national events do. Okay. So now that all this disclaimer stuff is out of the way, joining me to discuss this topic, tiptoe around people's feelings, a passionate Great Lakes Honda Challenge racer adopted by the Mid-Atlantic family, a federal wrench spinner, a recent newlywed, Michael Baldrige. Welcome to the show, bud.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So, what have you been up to lately? Because I haven't seen you in a couple of years, it feels like.
Yeah, it's been too long. Definitely it's not unknown to the Honda Challenge family, who knows me and my brief and sporadic social media presence sometimes. After Daytona 2021, that was a rough year getting there. Heartbreaking events happened there, but all taken away with great admiration for the experience of it, being there, and then just the unfortunate of losing the motor and then getting hit by a fellow competitor was rough. But I challenged myself that much to get down there that year and learned a lot about car setup, competing at a championship, what it takes, where the car was, what didn't it have. But afterwards, it was time to shift focus after something I'd been going after hard for about 5 years through HPD, TT, building a car, racing. And I would love to have continued it, but I needed to kind of dial back and reset the funding and priorities in my life. Met a lovely person in life who I can now call my wife. And in 2022 was, enjoying more of the outdoors and growing closer to that person. And yeah, buying an engagement ring. And then this year has been the wedding and honeymoon and plans for the future and to come back stronger and better than ever. So this will be my last hiatus season, and it was a tough choice because obviously Nationals is that pit race that's in my home region. I could have been at the Nationals at Mid Ohio, but I was buying my house that year, so kind of seems to have the Nationals hit me at the wrong time. But I'm sure we'll be back at pit race again, and hopefully we can be somewhere close to home again soon in the near future, like VIR.
Absolutely. Congratulations. I know everyone in the Mid-Atlantic Honda Challenge family is happy for you. It's real special to find somebody that knows you're a racer and will put up with it from the start. So congratulations on winning that lottery, because a lot of folks don't have it. You've taken a hiatus, and a lot of other drivers have taken hiatus, especially this year. Specifically, we're missing 12-ish drivers from the Mid-Atlantic region that aren't signed up. Michael Young, K-swapping his car. He will be there, but he will not be racing. Track Dad, as he's known to us, get your cars ready for compliance because he's in charge of it. That's your last warning. I mean, I'm sure he'll warn you when you get there, but make sure your stuff is tight to the rules, boys and girls. My car, it's not where I want it to be, and things just aren't working out. I could give you another 1,000 racer excuses if you want. I'm kicking myself for not going because the more I studied this event, the more I studied the field, the more I knew I was missing out on such a great opportunity to learn. Christopher Michaels, he won't be there. Former national champion. He's adulting with a new house and his toddler. Sam Metzger, he's adulting with kids. His brother Holden is adulting with a street Porsche. Mark is hopefully saving for a ring, but then he'll end up like Freddie, who's basically poor because of wedding expenses. Morgan's been missing in action with some Turbo Street Honda. Steve's been out. Steve Benavidez. I can't even say Steve B anymore in my region because we have more than one. Steve Benavidez. I stalk him on Instagram. He's working on the car, but he'll probably won't be back till 2024. Aldo, I have no excuses for him. I need to see him out at the track with me. Zach got a boat. Rest in peace, bud. You're going to be out on that boat all the time having fun. Steve Brown, he got so mad at his Integra that he decided to start working on his 240 again. I don't understand the sickness, but whatever. Brian Mang, he got married, forgot to invite all of us. What are we supposed to do about that? Hunter Hughes, he works too much, and hopefully his boss, when he gets his race license, they can both pawn off their work on other people so they can come racing. That's just in my region. One person, now this is August 21st, so it could change. I doubt it, but it could. We were 3 weeks out or so from Nationals. Scott Adams, he's not on the driver's list. He will not be included in this. And from what I hear, he's coaching two people. He's coaching two people at two different tracks the weekend of Nationals, one at pit race and one somewhere else. So I doubt he's actually driving. So that wraps up the MIA drivers that I know. Your region, you're from the Great Lakes region. You guys have a small field, right? So most of you guys are attending.
The only people are truly missing are myself, Tony Lukoski from Buffalo, New York, who has switched to ST6 because of the kind of people have left and joined other series or have gone on to do different things in life, like own a boat or grow up a bit. Or different series it's a competitive area of the Midwest for racing. There's tons of opportunities, lots of tracks within 6 to 7 hours, like other parts of the United States. But it's a tight field, and there's a lot of racing there, and it will be a big field at Pit Race with Nationals. Andy Work has been dabbling back and forth between H2 and GLTC and having great success. He's still getting his car back together from a hard snap at Heartland Park, I believe, and being an awesome dad. Can't blame anyone for not being at Nationals or not racing. That should be number one priority in their lives. So, and he's a great person. So, he's getting his car back together, and I think we'll see him out next year a lot more, as long as myself, whether it be GLTC or H2. And we have some other people in the pipeline that just aren't there quite yet to have a race license and be even able to attend nationals. So regions go up and down with numbers sometimes, and it's been more of a struggle here in Great Lakes lately.
Yeah, same with Mid-Atlantic. So it happens. It looks like you guys have 3 entrants for nationals. So let's kick off with your region in Great Lakes, and let's hear about Jeremy Lucas. He's in a S2000. I believe it's number 8, and it's a true CR, I think. So it's a F22 car. He was running as low as a 203.3 at the pit crossover race, and he ran his fastest lap was basically a 204 flat, so a 0.7 variance in his fastest laps. What can you tell me about Jeremy Lucas?
Jeremy that's honestly impressive times for someone who does not run an H2 every weekend. We're talking about a guy who is typically running Specky 30 on the weekends and always trading between first and second and third every weekend. So to just jump right back into a S2000, who has always believed that the S2000 is, mechanically or tire compromised chassis, and be able to kind of shake off the rust. Maybe had some small setup challenges at pit race, but I know there's a lot more in him and a lot more in that car. And he also is continually, as someone that is always getting wheel-to-wheel experience, doing endurance races. So man has a huge passion for racing, strong competitor, fair competitor, knows the rule book, knows the CCR, is just if anything you need to know about Jeremy Lucas, just go look at where he finished in 2019 or in other nationals in the past, and you'll know his pedigree.
Yeah, he's been very competitive in the past, from Mid-O to Coda. They took the hiatus because of the vid after Coda, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't attend any. And then, he's always finished pretty strong. His racecraft is pretty good from what I've seen. He complained. So he went on Race FF podcast with Jaime, and he always talks about having to manage the car. And his minimum weight's supposed to be 2,800 pounds in that S2000. He doesn't get any penalties because he does have a restriction on his dampers, but I think 235s are pretty decent. The car is way more balanced. I know the 235s were terrible on my 8th gen. I needed more tire up front and less in the back, but I would think with a better balanced car, because the 8th gen is terribly balanced, that it would be much better. But the lap times seem to dictate that, he's going to have to manage the car off the brake, which is a little bit of a detriment because he takes about 2 laps to come up to speed. And I don't feel some of the other front runners will need to take that much time. So he's going to have to work hard in the middle of this race and then try to conserve, which is just going to be difficult. If he can't get out hotter than he got out of the gates at the crossover race, he's going to have a problem, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I know from times that we've talked about chassis and racer talk, and I'm not speaking for him, but right. It's believed in the S2000 world that, they're like just the torque and the chassis and how they use the Toyos. It's definitely tougher on them. I'm not saying it's not tougher on the DC2 or EK or 8th gen. It's just it's harder differently in the series over the course of the race and how it evolves. And as we all know, it comes down to driver. So I would not be able to speak from enough experience to the levels of how the DC2 compares at Chris Michaels or Baker's level, and where they really feel like its weaknesses are, and they're just having to drive through it. So is it really that limited, or can you always, evaluate yourself a bit more and change something? I would say another huge thing is going forward, Jeremy is probably the most passionate man I know into data. So if there's time to be found or something to overcome, I know he's looking at his first 2 laps from pit race to get ready for nationals.
Yeah, I mean, race 1, there were 3 races at the pit race crossover. In race 1, he was P3. Race 2, he was P3. Race 3, he was P2. So he was pushing to be up front. The field at crossover is a little different than the field that's going to be at nationals. A lot of the same folks, but more folks are showing up. So we don't know if he will be on the podium, but we'll talk about who we think will be in the hunt for the podium later. Let's go to Ben Linfield, because he's in a 10th gen Civic, and it's one of the turbo L15B7 cars, and it looked like he was struggling at the crossover. So what do you have on Ben?
Ben's a great guy, great racer, fair racer, does a lot of endurances like Lucas. That 10th gen's definitely come a long way since 2019. I think Ben's struggles about not being able to use the car probably the last 2 years are his only struggle. So shaking off the rust, getting reacclimated with the car. I'm sure he's been driving something different. He's a mountain biker in his off time, staying fit. He's kind of like a CrossFit pit bull, but not quite. So he's younger, passionate, great. We're going to see, I think, some great things from him at nationals. It's just about if that car is going to stay cool and then not burning up those tires in the fronts and getting that car to rotate maybe a little easier, being those tensions are a little heavier. So that's going to be cooling and his racecraft coming into play. But always had huge admiration for Ben, and every time he comes out, man, at Mid-Ohio or pit race or wherever we're at, great racer.
Yeah, he seems to have a lot of experience, but when I looked him up on Race Hero, it was kind of spotty over the last 8 years, not in an endurance setting. But what I did find is that he's been pretty consistent with his lap times. It's usually race to race. So in race 1, he did a 2:10.3. In race 2, he did a 2:07.3. And then in race 3 at pit, he did a 2:09.6. And his variance was like maybe 1 second a lap per. But he was fighting those air intake intake temperature issues, is what I understand. So being a P7, P8, P6, he could move up, but maybe he's going to end up sort of in the same because we're going to have more additional drivers. He is going to have a problem keeping the tires under this car. I mean, it's a great car for the torque to get up those hills at pit, but he's going to have to manage them, from the time he drops the green flag. He's got to be fast enough to keep up with the guys ahead of him, but he can't overdrive the tires. I think that's going to be a really big issue for him in the 10th gen. So.
Yeah, definitely the greatest challenge with his race.
Yeah, and so the other driver I think that's going to have a hard time keeping the tires under him from personal experience is Brian Schanfeld. So he's in the 8th gen from Great Lakes. He didn't attend the pit race. So what can you tell me about Schanfeld?
I was at pit race, seeing Schanfeld not there, and then seeing him on the entry list was surprising. Brian's a great racer. He's a lot of racing experience over the last, I would say, as far as I know, decade or more. Endurance races, Honda Challenge, SCCA, dabbled in many different forms of motorsports. That Civic he's running may not look as fashy as our podcast host, but it is a rocket ship. And he is, when he's coming to the track in Great Lakes, I feel like it's similar to when Chris Michaels or Baker is showing up at Mid-Atlantic. He's an absolute threat. I say it was a kind of a wasted opportunity for him not to go to pit race. But who knows why, and can be racers' excuses, but that man is he's a man on fire when it comes to the track weekend. So I think our probably strongest contender from Great Lakes, without a doubt.
Well, stronger than Jeremy Lucas, huh?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Luke, I would say at pit race, yes. Give this a different year and a different track. Maybe it's different, but that car is very, very quick, and he's a talented driver. Honestly, I wish I could say more about him, but he's always blowing the doors off of me, but I have a lot to learn still.
So he's mostly been in ST5 over the last couple of years, and he has absurdly consistent lap times. So he's within half a second a lap usually, race after race. Traffic doesn't bother him. He just keeps going from what I was able to see. He podiumed at COTA. So in 2018, he podiumed. I believe he was 3rd place. Christopher Michaels got the better of him to take 2nd while they were at COTA in 2018. And then in 2019 at Mid-Ohio, he was 4th place. And he was, he seems to have that 8th gen figured out. I'm going to have to pick his brain if he'll share. Most 8th gen people think they work for the government, have top secret clearances and stuff. So, but he is really fast with it. So he will be a threat. I didn't see a weakness really to his game, but he is in a car that I personally can run the tires off of within 4 laps. So if you are with him and can pressure him, the chassis doesn't like to be pushed. So if you can get him into a pushing mode, he will cook the tires off the front. That's my experience. Maybe his car is so drastically different than mine that won't happen, but from my experience, the only weakness is probably in the chassis he's driving. So that's it for the Great Lakes guys. We're going to get into my home region and another person who didn't attend pit race. So Brent Bauer showed up to pit race, or did not show up to pit race, but he's picked up the pace over the last couple of years. I know you've come down to visit us a couple times over the last, 4 years. You don't have anything? Do you have anything on Brent?
Brent's a fierce competitor. He's strong. I think there's only a couple more tweaks on that chassis and driver mod per se. That is only maybe holding, honestly, no hard feelings, Brent, holding you back from being even quicker. But I mean, he's a great racer, great guy at the track. Can be, I think, defensive. Some other people would call it strategic. And yeah, he's definitely, I mean, since I first met him, and as the years gone by, he's definitely become an improved driver, and I think he's passionate about it, and he's only going to get it better. He's done well in some Mid-Atlantic events in the past, and I mean, it seems like he's always at the event. You know, he's one that, like, you can always guarantee that he's going to be on the entry list, and yeah, it's a quick K series.
Yeah, I'll throw the rules committee under the bus. His engine chassis combination is very good. He's definitely figured out the chassis, but he's really evolved his driving over the last, say, 2 years or so. He's several times he's finished within, say, 2 seconds finished. So finished a 40-minute race within 2 seconds of Jonathan Baker. I can't say that for anyone that went to pit race. So to me, he didn't go to the crossover. So hopefully he's, doing some sim racing. Hopefully he and maybe Shanfield are doing things off the books. They're going to track days with no lap timers and collecting their data separately so they don't show their hands. Because if he knows pit and he has enough experience there, enough to learn some of the tricks that are at pit race, I think he'll actually be a threat to be up front. So don't count him out. I think he can get a little heated. So if you are behind him and press him, he might cook his tires too. So when you're talking the pointy end of this field, they don't always have a lot of weaknesses, but if you keep pressing them and they are fighting the car even a little bit, they will overdrive the car. And so if he's not at pit and he's not figured it all out, he's going to have a problem. And that may be his only weakness right now is knowing the track and knowing the tricks. So, Brent, bring sticker tires. I know you've never purchased them before. Purchase them for pit race, will you? Let's see. Our next driver, defending champion, Jonathan Baker. Okay. I don't even know what engine he's going to put in the car, so I'm not even going to guess. He did attend the crossover. He was P1 in race 1, P1 in race 2, and did not race in race 3. He figured he was done stealing everybody's Toyo bucks, I guess. Do you have anything on Jonathan Baker?
I think Baker's pedigree speaks for itself, much to Shanfield and Lucas for how much much they've raced over the course of, I don't even exactly know when Baker started. You probably do. But committed to, being at many, many national events. Sad to miss him from Daytona, but yeah, he's kind of not a wild card as in you don't know what's going to do, but a wild card as in who's really at the pointy end of the field to keep up with him. And you just got to go look at Race Hero at Summit Point, Maine, and VIR. And I mean, if you watch the Nationals from last year or Nationals prior, so very strong at Mid Ohio in 19. And yeah, he's a great driver, very knowledgeable, and probably one of the most dialed in Honda Challenge TC2 chassis I've probably ever seen.
Yeah. His race program is refined. It's very dialed, and it has 14 plus years of data behind it. So he will come out, and he will come out fast. The trick is going to be staying up with him. If you give him an inch, he will take it. He will take it faster than you ever thought. Ask Scott Adams or go watch the turn 1 green flag lap in-car video from Jonathan Baker. He took the lead on turn 1 and never looked back. I implore him to play it safe. He always makes tweaks to find tenths, hundredths, whatever he can. He's pushing the envelope to the extreme. So, Baker, don't push it to that level, especially on the dyno. Be safe on the dyno, push the rest of it, and you'll be fine. He's meticulous with car prep, just like every driver that's out here. Anything can happen to the cars, but Jonathan is absolutely meticulous to the point where he checks things after the race, not after an event. He dials it in that much. So, and he's not afraid to make a change. You will see him make lots of changes. If you're anywhere near him in the paddock, you'll make lots of changes every evening. And you'll be like, what in the hell? And then it may work for him, it may not. But he benefits from all the close racing that we do in the Mid-Atlantic field. Once you get to a certain level, even the mid-pack guys like me, you have to take it from me. If you fall behind me for whatever reason in the start of a race, I'm not giving you an inch. You have to take it from me. And we all race that way, and he benefits from it. He enjoys close racing, close, clean racing he enjoys, and he is used to it. So if you're going to put it on him, you're going to have to work some magic. So don't let him get away from you. That's my advice to everybody else. The next racer we're going to talk about, Naveen DeHaas. He's in a Civic hatchback EG, B16 A2 powered. I believe he's still on a B16. He ran the 206.8 and a 206.6 respectively in race 1, then race 2. He did not race in race 3. He's really consistent. That's what I can say about Naveen. Do you have any notes on Naveen? I know you didn't come down and race with us so much. So
no, when I've raced at Naveen at pit race, car's been quick. Naveen's aggressive, quick to make moves on track. Other racers play it safe. He can be a little slippery, get past people when maybe they wouldn't think to try it there. He's crafty. Been out of the car somewhat recently, like me, ups and downs, but I know he's always making it out to Mid-Atlantic events and keeping fresh. He's knocking off the rust. He knows, and with a little bit of car setup and helping him wrench on the car when he was in needed it at pit race. I was there to help him out, and he was just getting faster and changing, doing some more setup changes, and I think he liked what he saw. I think every driver, Nav included, that the conditions in July are not going to be the same in September. So whatever lap times were now, qualifying, practice, warm up is going to be a whole different story. So I think he knows that, and every other driver knows that. And yeah, I mean, he can sometimes look pointy end of the field, mid pack. We all have our bad days, but still strong, fierce competitor, a lot of respect, and another great H2 racer from the Mid Atlantic.
Yeah, he's unusually consistent. Like, if you relax in the back half of a race, he will find you. If you pass him and you relax, I mean, even just a little bit, if you get fatigued, he will reel you back in. He is that consistent when he's running lap times. I know he's in the B16A2 power, which is going to mean he's going to need to hit his marks extremely consistently to keep his pace lap after lap. But he has been working on the car. There's, social media is good for everyone, and he has been on the dyno, so I'm sure he's working on the reliability. He's working on the best power curve he can get out of that car for pit race, and he's going to show up and try to get to the pointy end. And I wish him all the luck in the world, because I've raced with him for a while now, last 4 years, and he's getting better. He improves every single time. He'll improve between practice, qualifying, and a race. So he just got to look in his data and keep working at it. So he'll be doing all right, I think, at pit. We're going to move to the Northeast region. So this next driver, Leland Wamble, for all the things I had to criticize of him, he showed up at GLTC Circuit Heroes this last weekend, and you could tell he was working. So he knows where he's weak. He's in a B18C5 powered Integra Type R. At pit race, he finished P2 in race 1, P4 in race 2, and then did not start race 3, and I'm assuming that's because he broke a gear in the transmission. That was in race 2. So with a busted gear in the transmission, he still showed up at P4. At GLTC, he qualified fast enough, early enough, and was in the A group for a while, and then he got bumped down to the B group. But he had a really hard fight with Zoo during that GLTC race, the last one, and he put it on him in a car that's not fully prepared for GLTC. So, in GLTC, they can do things like the bump steer correction kits and geometry correction kits, and he wasn't running any of that stuff and still running at the pointy end of the half part of that field in a ill-prepared car. So he's quick. What do you have on Leland Wamble?
Apologies prior to. I'm probably going to butcher your name, dude. But Leland's a great guy. Just met him at the crossover event. Friendly, definitely super fierce, competitive, knowledgeable. Comes to a more of a Midwest meets Mid-Atlantic approach as a person. I think he would fit in with wherever he would go, Southeast, Northeast, Cali, but didn't have that Northeast maybe attitude they get stereotypical with, this is New York kind of thing. knowledgeable, and very dedicated to his car setup. I would say he's the northeast version of Baker. So fast, pressured Lucas, and honestly gave him a real challenge at pit race. And as far as I know, he had not been there before. So maybe that's not true, but was strong there. I did not see race 3 there, but very knowledgeable. Like most people who go to the track weekend, bring a spare trans and know when it's time to go out for another race or pack it up and head home early. Super impressive stuff at more of a home track, GLTC Lime Rock. And that's very competitive in a H2 trim car, even with an uptune and different, tires that they're running in GLTC. So it looks very, very competitive, very strong. Great. Looks like a great racer to see on track and do battle with. Seems fair from at least the hill viewing spots.
Yeah, I mean, for the last couple of years, he's a perennial front runner in the Northeast. And he's teamed up with Ronnie Vidoc from the Track Monsters crew. So they're all part of Team Track Monsters. Ronnie's running GLTC, mentoring, Leland and the rest of the Track Monsters team. Leland can throw down some flyer laps, okay, in qualifying and in the race, but it's the consistency. So if you look at Baker's spread, Baker has a 0.3 fastest lap spread at pit race from that last weekend. If you look at Leland, it's 1.3. So that 1 second, if you're not consistent that way in a 16 lap race 8 times, you're 8 seconds behind. Okay. So, he did throw down a lap faster than Baker, but if he doesn't throw that fastest lap down more consistently than his 1 second gap, he's going to have a problem. But I saw him, it looked like he was working that type of race situation in the GLTC race, and he was succeeding and doing very well. So he knows what he needs to do, and he's working on it. So I think he'll be up front if he can get out of the gate fast enough. He's going to need to be fast off of the green flag lap, and he's going to need to stay there, keep the car underneath him, keep everybody in sight, wait for mistakes. But I think he will be tough to beat if he can get up front. So the next racer, Chris Vera, H2. He's in a K20A3 powered EG. He ran a 210, a 2.7, and a 2.8. Do you have anything on Chris?
Seems like from a distance, a strong competitor, fierce racer, just getting better and better every year. Seems, at pit, wasn't as strong as I'm sure he'd like to be, but I don't see any reason why those numbers for the lap times don't get faster. Don't know him, didn't get to meet him. That event was unfortunate, but look forward to meeting him in person at Nationals.
Yeah. He's the one of the drivers that I noted that if he takes Nationals seriously, he's going to make big strides in 2024 in his region. He's got a pretty wide spread on his lap times historically. I think I went back like 3 years or so. So consistency at pit is going to be key for him. They call the K20A3 the B20 of H2, or the B20 K series of H2. So he might be a little behind the ball already with that engine, but he finished P8, P9, P5, respectively, race 1, 2, and 3. So really, if he can start hitting his marks he's going to drop a lot of time. His lowest is a 207.5. He could easily drop a second, but if he can keep that consistency as in a 206.5, it's going to do wonders for him. It's going to put him in a place in the pack where the experience he's going to gain at this Nationals is going to set him up for a long time to do a lot of good things. So he's one of the drivers I look at to learn the most at this Nationals event. I don't know where he will finish because we never know, what type of issues are going to occur in front of him or behind him or to him. But if he focuses, I think he's going to learn a lot and really be able to push his game to the next level. The next driver I have on my list is Ken Martinez of Ken's House Wash. I'm glad I got that right. Normally in my brain, it comes through Ken's Car Wash. Ken, you should just buy a car wash, so I'm right. He's in an Acura Integra K20A4 powered, just like Brent is a K24A power car. Now, Ken finished P9, P6, and then P4. Even in P4, he ran a 208. So Ken started off real slow. Came out at the gate with a 214.3. Race 2, he put down a 206.6, which is good. And then in P4, he only put down a 208.4. His spread of times, and I don't know whether it's him fighting this chassis or trying to figure it out, but he's got the wildest spread. So do you have anything on Ken?
Never personally raced with Ken. Great racer, great guy. Would help you at the track if you need it. Another great Northeast racer. Had met him in the past at Mid Ohio. Hadn't mainly seen him at PRI and around like Daytona 24, things like that. I think he's. I'm almost positive he was on a B18 power, so I think he's just learning that K. Just loves to race. May not be at the pointy end of the field, but he's going to wheel to wheel with you on track, and he's not going to give it to you. So I'd give some competition in the Northeast, and definitely is out there at their events. It seems like consistently, and I think you should open up the car wash and be able to build another car.
So Ken, my biggest thing, I think you need to get Jackie on the line and have her coach you, because just your crossover race splits, unless there was something wrong with the car that I don't know about, that 206.6 in race 2, you were much quicker in race 2 than you were in race 3. I know the weather changes, things evolve, but I think she can help you, and I think you will benefit, especially at Nationals, if she can get into your data, assuming you have it. I assume everybody has it, but you're going to gain a lot. I think Ken's going to gain. So he's another one. Chris, Ken, our next driver, they're going to gain so much from this if they take it seriously, and really look at how other people are doing it. Try to paddock near folks that you think are faster than you, that have their stuff together a little better than you, and start refining your program. Because the fact that he threw down a 206.6, but he's got a 208.4, almost 2 seconds difference, we've got to figure that out, Ken. There's something in there. It was either the car or something you decided to change that messed that up. But I think you'll have a lot to learn at that event. Alex Herman is the next driver on my list. Acura Integra. He's a GSR powered. All those guys got the cheater bump. All the GSR guys running around with less weight and more horsepower than they know what to do with. Alex ran a 206.1, 204.4, and then a 206.08. So at the pit race crossover 1, 2, and 3, do you have anything on Alex?
He was paddock near Ken and Dylan and Leland, picking up a lot from those guys. He's serious, competitive. I think he's only get faster. I totally agree with you. He's going to learn a lot from this Nationals event. I think he's excited for it, pumped about it, loves the track. I know the pit race can get some flack, but I think it's going to be a much better setup for Nationals and a run group for what type of cars are out there, hopefully, than in other years past when there's been like GTS and H2. That was not a terrible combination, and hopefully we never see that again. So we'll see. But I think he's only going to get faster. And if he looks at his data and takes it seriously, he's going to be a quick one, and he's learning a lot from Dylan. So not that Dylan's the baker of the Northeast, but Dylan's smart and crafty with and can wheel a car. So he's going to learn a lot at Nationals, and he's going to be better for it. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. So he finished his 206 and 204 gave him P5s. We know for race 1 and race 2, and we know Leland and Baker were not racing in race 3, so he got P3 with a 206. I think he and Ken, if they need to call Jackie, that 204.4, that put him 4th in race 2 as far as like best times. And if he can get his consistency in, then he could be moving forward, and he's just these guys are gonna learn so much. The guys with that show these flashes, those 204s to 206s, the 206 207 group from this last crossover, they're gonna learn so much at this event, and they're gonna come out fast in 2024. I don't understand how we get a 204.4 and then we go back to a 206, but I think they both need to talk to Jackie and get some coaching. The next driver, Yevgeny Novak. I'm butchering your name. I'm sorry. He's going to be in a Civic, in a B18C5 powered Civic. And have you ever raced with him?
I have not.
No, he didn't attend pit race, so I'm not sure if you have anything on him.
I don't. Honestly, I hardly recognize the name, but I'm not always, I haven't done my research as you have for this Nationals. So I hope to see big things out of this up and comer. Let's call him an underdog.
He is definitely an up and comer. So he's one of the few drivers in the Northeast that actually puts down one of their fastest laps off the beginning. So he doesn't need a lap to warm up. He comes out of the gate as faster than most. Okay. Maybe not faster than Leland and Dylan, but he still comes out fast. So his fastest time spread is very low across his regional races. I'm not sure. I hope he's in a sim too. I hope he's getting some time somewhere, or maybe he's going to pit race without all the people looking like me. But I didn't see anything in Race Hero where he's been to pit before. So he's got a lot of really hot races in the Northeast. Where 1 out of 3 races in the weekend, he really comes on. He shows some real fire. So hopefully he's getting some sim time, learning the track and learning the tricks there, so he can get to the pointy end. Because he is pretty consistent and he gets there pretty quickly. So If he's getting that seat time in wherever he can get it, whether he's doing it with a track day organization or a sim or a combination of both, he could really surprise some people, I think. So hopefully he's doing his homework too. The next driver I have is Anthony Robinson. He's driving a Civic, GSR powered. He also did not attend the pit race. Do you have anything on him?
I do not.
Okay. So he's been racing since 2017, and he's pretty consistent outside of his first lap. So his first lap, it's like he's scared of the cold tires. My recommendation to people who think they are on cold tires and they need to really relax, evaluate the track. There's a corner or two you need to worry about, but most of the other corners you can probably push. So that's been my experience. You want to come out as fast as you can, and you may want to come out and practice as fast as you can, and try to feel it out before it's race time. But yeah, he should be one of those like upper mid pack folks. If you look at his Northeast standings, he's not really been to the pointy end yet, but he's really consistent outside that first lap. It's hard to explain. He's sort of in the same boat that I get in sometimes, or that I'm in right now. I might come out a little faster than him. I'm relentless in turn one. I watched Jonathan Baker's championship win, and I have taken it to heart. But the consistency, he's really consistent, but he's just off pace, right? So if they're going to run a 203 and he's running a 204, that adds up. That turns into 16 seconds at the end of the race if he can be consistently running a 204 while they're running a 203. So look into your data. I don't know if he has data on pit, but look into your data throughout the weekend and try to find some time, because he's probably, I don't know, like one, maybe two malfunctions away from running pretty high up there. So, yeah, he's another one. He's going to learn a lot from this race. I'm honestly surprised how many guys from the Northeast. I mean, it's only two of them, but two guys from, well, Zephyr didn't attend, but I know he's been there before. Three guys from the Northeast that didn't attend pit race. So it's interesting. They want to sign up for nationals, but don't attend. It's kind of, I don't know. It's making me think now. The next driver I want to talk about is Zephyr Belsky. He's going to run a B16B or something like that. Nobody knows what Zephyr's got in his car. You never know. Have you ever raced with Zephyr before?
I have. Zephyr's great. Fierce competitor. Seen him at pit race. Seen him at Mid Ohio. He's Honda Challenge OG. Been doing this a long time. It's nothing to sneeze at.
Time.
Isn't the does probably not give a crap about social media and Instagram likes, or that he's on Facebook at all. Would rather just drive a B20 forever, and be able to just make every event because he likes wheeling. It's a great person to have at the track. He was a real hit at Summit Point the last time I was there, which was last year. Feels like forever ago. Just hanging out, and crafty, dicey, fierce competitor, fair, knows a lot, and I think maybe his car next to you on track may scare you more than Dylan's former eBay wing, but the car's together, but it's quick, and I think Zephyr will just shake off his rust and yeah, maybe he's doing a track day that's not on everybody's radar right beforehand. There's a couple for the people who don't know or haven't been playing it.
There's a couple left.
Yeah. So,
this is
and
August 21st. There's more than a couple between now and the Nationals race.
And it seems like there's some the week of, so that was interesting to hear about.
Yep.
I'm sure some people are going to be attending, and yeah, he's a great racer, and a lot of respect for him. Hope that's me one day, doing this forever till I'm 50.
Right? Oh, I don't know if Zephyr's 50 yet, but he's definitely an OG. One of the original low buck guys driving his H5 car to the track back in the day. If you don't know what H5 is, talk to Zephyr. He can tell you all about it. Doesn't exist anymore. But if you're around him on track, bring your best game, because he's not going to be shaken. Will he be at like the pointy end of the deepest field, or a deep field like this one? Probably not, but maybe. I don't know what to expect from Zephyr anymore, because he came down to Summit Point and I was like, where's Zephyr? But then I've seen some results where he's like P3, and I'm like, where did that come from? Because all weekend he wasn't P3. So just know, if he sharpens everything up and he brings it, he's going to make you work for it. So be ready to make him work, because he'll put up a fight. He hasn't been racing this long to go to a Nationals just to hang out. So Zephyr knows what he's doing. It's whether how much he wants to do is going to be the trick for him. Excuse me. The last person from the Northeast, I should say. I'm sure he's been like, why aren't you talking about me? Just kidding. The Birdman himself, Dylan. He's in EJ2 because he's a track rat, and he may or may not have a GSR in the car. I don't know what he's doing after all the issues that he's had. Pit race. He did a P4, a P2, and then a P1 in the last race. So, what do you know about Dylan? Have you raced with him?
I have not raced with Dylan. Known him for a couple of years, so we're always talking back and forth. Great mechanical resource for the people who are looking for some knowledge. We'll share wealths of information with you. Wonderful personality to have in Honda Challenge as the track rat. Passionate like me. Similarities in that aspect. Low budget as well, so I really relate to him. Smart guy though. Don't think Dylan's running across the train tracks hood car just because he can't afford to do something different. He's probably saving money and putting it where it matters, and he does so many things himself where so many people are taking it to a shop. Dylan that's doing it on his own. So gotta admire someone in that respect, doing the wrench work and racing and doing it low budget. So fast. Pit race, third race results speak for themselves. He was getting quicker throughout the weekend. Car setup, and I think he'll only get quicker at Nationals. I think he could surprise some people there. The race results, though, at pit race, third race are notably down to some strong competitors not either having left the track early or not being able to make the race at all. So, but that's going to help him get ready for Nationals.
Yeah. So he is king of the budget cars. I mean, he sources as cheaply as he can. He's no longer the king of eBay, but he definitely works his budget. But this year, well, let's say the last 2 years specifically, he's been picking up speed any way he can find it, whether it's replacing parts or budget parts or working on himself. So he's done that very well. He's working on his race program. I mean, probably harder than he's worked on himself, and he's doing gym time and doing all that stuff. So he's ready. He's not going to worry about getting sweaty in a car. One thing I did note is he's been battling some gremlins this year in the car. So he needs to keep those at bay. That's not new news to Dylan. I talk to Dylan at least weekly. That's not new to him, but he has to keep that at bay to run and make the podium. One thing I want to talk to Dylan specifically, because I know he'll listen. When I watch the pit race, you need to keep your eyes up just a little bit more, because you let traffic pick you too often. There were times where he was about to put a move on Leland, but he didn't account for, it didn't seem like he accounted for the traffic. He needs to work on that. I don't know how you're going to work on it in the week or two before Nationals, but I think you need to be aware of it. Now, these pit race results were in a, how many cars were there at pit race? Do you remember? I didn't actually count. I should have counted.
Let's just call it 9.
There were 9 cars, yeah, but how many were in the whole run group? Do you remember? It's got to be over 40, right?
Yeah, whole run group was quite large, not like it had been the last summers or prior. But I think we're in the 65, 68 cars. We've seen it as bad as 82. It is awful. Then I'd almost guarantee we're not going to have those type of numbers even for the national heat races.
So Nationals is set. Okay. I believe we were close to 60 cars, if not just around 60 cars, a little above or a little below 60 cars for this event. So the folks that I said consistency, if you look into yourself, look at your data, look at your video and go, maybe it's like Dylan, maybe I'm having a time with traffic, your consistency will improve. So understand that. But we know there's going to be a 15-car Honda Challenge field, and right now there are 18 Thunder Roadsters signed up. So what are we at? 33 cars? That's a really light field. But you have to realize those Thunder Roadsters, their mirrors aren't in the same spots yours are, and you may need to drop your mirrors just a little bit so you can find them. They will cause problems. Thunder Roadsters notoriously don't pay attention unless there's another Thunder Roadster near them. So while the car count's low, the guys you're on track with are a little more volatile, the folks you're on track with. So be wary of that. So that's my recommendation to all those folks. Now, there's one last driver, because it's not Scott Adams, but he's driving Scott Adams RSX, or maybe he bought it from Scott Adams, but he's driving the RSX Scott Adams had last year. Patrick Brunson. I know you haven't shared the track with him, and I know I haven't shared the track with him. Did you happen to do any research on him?
I have not.
No is a viable answer. I had to dig deep. Okay. So this is what I know. He's a time trial guy turned wheel-to-wheel racer. If anybody's listened to this podcast in the past, they know how I feel about that. There's things to learn in time trials. There's things to learn while you're doing wheel-to-wheel racing. While he's put down fast lap times, and he's actually had success in both wheel-to-wheel racing and time trials, even though he's had limited fields in wheel-to-wheel racing. He's being coached by Scott Adams. He will know how to put down a flyer. If he's not on the pole, I'll be surprised. Okay? He will learn. He will put down a flyer, period. He's bested Scott Adams himself in the Texas region. racing wheel to wheel and qualifying. So be that as it may, we know Scott Adams had the pole for the last couple of events, but he will have the same exact weakness that I professed to Jaime on Race FF podcast that Scott Adams did, and that he does not have the same wheel to wheel experience that everyone in front of him has. Leland, Dylan, Zephyr, Brent, everybody, Baker, everyone ahead of him, Schanfeld, Lucas, everyone ahead of him is sharp because they're in fields consistently that are nose to tail scrappy every weekend. So that's going to be a problem. His racecraft, I looked at the Texas results. What are there? 3, 4 cars? Okay. That's not enough. Excuse me. That's definitely not enough. 3 or 4 cars isn't enough to really refine your racecraft. Hopefully he's online and racing the hell out of a sim so he can learn some racecraft on a sim. The other problem is he's in a car that murders front tires. It murders them. The RSX is worse than the 8th gens. Scott Adams complained about it after Nationals last year at Laguna Seca. He burned the tires off trying to keep up with Baker. Okay. And we're now at a track that's notoriously hard on tires. So he's going to have to, he's got 2 or 3 weeks left to master some more racecraft, and he's going to have to manage his tires. And if he doesn't come out of the gate quickly and put down his consistently fast lap times, he's going to have a problem. He could do well. I'm not saying he can't do well, but there's those 2 things that I believe are going to count against him. His experience in wheel to wheel. He's fast enough. He can put down those lap times, but the chassis he's in will hurt him over a 35, 40-minute stint. So he's going to have to figure that out. Whether he puts 255s on the front and little donuts out back, I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's got to figure something out. So that wraps up all 15 drivers that are on the list for Nationals. So let's get spicy. Give me your top 5 or 6-ish. Give me who you think is going to be the pointy end fighting.
So, in no specific order,
That's
Lucas,
correct. No specific order. Okay.
Leland, Schanfield,
Okay.
Dylan, Baker.
That's it? Is that your 5?
Yeah. I think that was 6, but
Okay.
if I didn't say Brent Bauer, then he's up there. Just don't get too hot, Brent. So, but yeah, no matter what, everyone's going to have to watch out for not a broom like Daytona, but they're going to have to watch out for something. Maybe a Mid-Atlantic Northeast combo broom.
Oh, yeah. That's almost a lock. Really, I'm not.
Well, anything can happen in the race, but
I'm not disrespecting Texas or Great Lakes, and you're right. Anything can happen. And I haven't seen. I honestly, I wish I had. So this is probably why Schanfield didn't show up, because I wish I had Schanfield at the crossover to see where he lands on here. But also in no specific order, even though I probably wrote it down as a specific order, so I'll just mix it up for everybody. We'll go with Dylan, Lucas, Schanfield, Baker, Leland. if Brent has learned pit race off the radar, he's in the mix. If Patrick Brunson has learned pit race, he will be in the mix. And this is why I think he'll be in the mix. And why Brent will likely be in the mix. He'll learn over the weekend, but he'll likely be in that pointy end, that breakaway pack possibly. But we know Shanfield and Lucas have cars that can eat tires. Okay, Lucas admitted it. Shanfield's driving an 8th gen. I know Patrick Brunson's in a car that eats tires. But if he's as fast as he looks on Race Hero and what I've seen online, he's just as fast as Lucas and Shanfield. Now, how he stacks up to don't leave half a car length or half a car width because the guys will come right through. That'll be up to him. We'll see, because those guys, everyone else that I mentioned, if you give them half a car length, or half a car width, they're gonna take it. So he's gonna have to be on point, but he could be up there. And if he may actually end up in a no man's land. If I actually data stacked all their lap times, I bet he ends up in a no man's land, like just off that lead pack. But you never know what's going to happen in a race. What that says to me is we could have 5 to 7, maybe 8 total racers on the pointy end of the field. That's going to make a heck of a race. Now, is the rest of them, they're going to scrap. If I look at these lap times from Linfield all the way, Naveen, Vera, Ken, Herman, Nowak, Robinson. I don't have times for Zephyr with them, but that group of guys, that's going to be a show. We might get a better show from I hate to say the back half, but the non-pointy end. We might get a better show from the non-pointy end than we get from the pointy end. So, and the pointy end looks really competitive. So it could just be a really amazing race. And I hope every competitor, all 15 drivers, focuses on what they want to do, what they want to get out of Nationals for 2023, and they actually get what they want. Because, well, you can't get what you want. Everybody's going to show up and be like, I want to win. Okay, not everyone can win. There's only 3 podium spots and 15 racers. But I hope they arrive and they learn what they need to learn to excel in the future, because this is a great opportunity. But any opinions from you?
I mean, all these, I think at the pointy end, these 3 specific drivers, not accompanying the drivers who are newer to the Honda Challenge Nationals, but I would love to see a redo Battle of Mid-Ohio, but closer, of Lucas, Shanfield, and Baker, which
Okay.
Race Hero has Lucas was 2nd, Shanfield was 4th behind Paswick, and Baker was 4th. Baker's only gotten faster over the years, and I don't see Jeremy as refined this year, so a lot to see. Zephyr was 10th that year, and Linfield was 16th, was lots of cooling issues back then, and Dylan was in H4 and took 3rd. So there's going to be a whole lot of changes from the past few years, and I think it's going to be, I think everyone needs to be glued to their phone, laptop, PC, the house party watching. It's going to be a great one to watch. I'm excited for it. I can't wait for that Nationals week to be here. Can't wait to see people, and I think it's going to be a spectacular race. I, for one, have a lot of track time with the Thunder Roadsters in my region, even with my time away from the track. Know a lot of those guys who are going to be at the front of that field, and the light bars definitely do help. But yeah, angle those mirrors down. So, and
So I have a question. I have a question for you then. What are the front runners lap times ish looking like versus the Honda Challenge lap times for you guys?
Thunder Roadster is going to be in the. I don't have pit race times, but at least Mid Ohio.
Are they faster at pit than the Honda Challenge front runners? Front runner.
Oh,
front
yeah.
runner.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, our track records at Mid Ohio are in the 138s. You're about 3 to 4 seconds easily faster at Thunder Roadsters. So, if not faster.
Okay. Well, we might be the second wave. I don't know what that's going to look like. Everybody pay attention.
Yeah.
But it could look like the front end of the Thunder Roadster field could eat into the Honda Challenge, the back end of the Honda Challenge field within maybe 10 to 15 laps. I don't know how long the sessions are going to be.
Yeah.
But
also, pit race front straight is on like a downhill. So that standing start, if we are not second wave and our third wave somehow and mixed with 944 like Daytona or Specky 30 or ST6 or however they do it. But
the wave is only Thunder Roadster and Honda Challenge. The other group that will be with them is what are those little things? The little go-kart Yamaha powered cars.
The Legends
cars.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's no Legends signed up. So right now it's Thunder Roadsters Honda Challenge 2 only. So,
well, go figure, from someone who's not going to nationals to race, wasn't concerned about it, but I'll be disappointed not to see a standing start for us, but that flying start will be excellent to watch.
Do they only do flying starts for Thunder Roadsters?
Yes. And I'm expecting with us to give them some break. But I mean, if they do first, Thunder Roadster flying, that's going to be guaranteed. And even if they did a second wave standing start, I would say those Thunder Roadsters will be within no more than 10 laps to the back of the H2 field if you're running, those 208 times.
Yeah. If they're running
off the pace, and September, whatever times you were running beforehand at pit race, expect to be obviously quicker with good weather conditions in September, and hope for no rain prior to.
Hey, we don't say that word. Stop that. All right, Mr. Baldrige. I think that's going to wrap up this podcast. Where can people find your sporadic Instagram postings? And do you need to shout out anyone on your car, your sponsors, anything like that?
Aaron Brum at Pure Tuning, Sam Myers, Adam Roberts, Dylan, and all the adopted track brothers at Mid-Atlantic. Love you guys. You can find me at Michael _Spike _T on Instagram, and Michael T. Baldrige on Facebook.
Awesome, my man. Thanks a lot for coming on. I'm going to have you on in the future because you hinted that you did TT also. So maybe I'll hit you up. I've got a podcast in mind. So I really appreciate you coming on and doing the research that you did, because it was a lot of folks to look into. So
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Great to talk with you again, brother. Hope to see you in the near future and all my family in the Mid Atlantic, and see everyone at Nationals. And yeah, Honda Challenge.
Until next time, keep working on yourself, keep working on the car, and let's get faster.